Trump moves to wrest control USAID as Musk says we are shutting it down. Wow, that's something that's unimaginable and out of this world. And this is the headline that caused me just to react to this series of events that have been happening at a very rapid pace. And you know what? It's been shaky, sad, and very divisive news, actually. If you read about this, and the article reads, this is in the Washington Post, says the Trump administration and its allies moved to tighten control of the U.S. Agency for International Development over the weekend, signaling an intent to act forcibly to bring the U.S. foreign policy apparatus in line with the president's America First approach to engaging with the world. Current and former officials said the administration removed two top security officials at USAID on Saturday after they refused to allow representatives from the office led by billionaire Elon Musk to access restricted spaces at the agency. The placement of security officers, two names, on administrative leave is alarming several lawmakers concerned about the security protocols as the Trump administration and Elon Musk aim to wrest control of the world's largest provider of food assistance. Since the President Donald Trump took office 2 weeks ago, the agency has been under siege and whipsawed by air freezes, personnel pages, and confusion. Musk is heading a government efficiency effort under Trump and said on X Monday that he is in the process of closing the agency with Trump's blessing. Wow, that's the news that really shook me this morning. But hey, this is a contentious issue, and let's hear what Elon Musk said.
We turn now to Elon Musk and what's being described as a hostile takeover of a government agency. Musk has also been given access to the massive federal payment system, which includes Social Security payment information. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest on this. Christian, good morning.
Andrew, good morning. Elon Musk accessing the federal payment system and taking over agencies is raising legal questions. At issue is funding already approved by Congress now on the chopping block. Overnight, sources confirming that Elon Musk has been given access to the U.S. Treasury Department's vast payment system. The move essentially puts the government's multi-trillion-dollar checkbook in the hands of the world's richest man, and his message about wasteful government spending has been clear.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
How much do you think we can rip out?
I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
The official who oversaw the federal payment system has been placed on administrative leave after he resisted giving Musk and Doge officials access to the system, which contains sensitive information about millions of Americans who receive Social Security, tax refunds, and other government payments. While Musk's team has access, it has not yet gained operational control of the system, and no government payments have been blocked. That could trigger a legal battle since the money is approved by Congress. Musk has also said he wants to get rid of the penny, noting that the 1-cent coin costs nearly 3 cents to produce.
Elon's doing a good job. He's a big cost cutter.
This weekend, Musk also taking aim at the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, which is in charge of dispensing tens of billions of dollars in foreign aid. Musk writing USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die.
To be clear, in shutting down which we're in the process of doing, shutting down USAID.
About 100 staffers were placed on leave after the agency refused to give Musk's team access to classified material. The team was eventually given that access. The Trump administration has already faced legal hurdles while pushing to gain more control of government spending. Just last week, Trump's executive action freezing federal grants and loans was blocked by the courts. Back to USAID, many staffers have lost access to their email and other accounts, and the agency's website was taken down. Critics are demanding to know why a group in charge of government efficiency needs to be conducting this apparent takeover of an agency.
Yeah, so that's it. That's Elon Musk, the head of the Department of Government Agency, saying that USAID is about to die. It's time for it to die. It's time to close it down. So that will really have an impact to multitudes, millions around the world. But I think the point of contention is how the USAID is not able to realign to the current state of things, because United States wants to put America first, and that America first rhetoric is that which Donald Trump is actually pushing forward all around the world. So in this video, Senator Marco Rubio, who is now the Secretary of State for the current Trump administration, was asked following the development that we have just read, and this is what he had to say.
Money that USAID spends that's criticized as being charitable, I think you used that word, or welfare for poor countries. Defenders of USAID and some members of Congress say that's in America's national interest, that it promotes stability or buys America goodwill overseas. So, I mean, what's your reaction to that? Do you think USAID does a lot of that work, but you have issues with some of the specific spending?
Yeah, well, my issue, as I said, is yeah, there are things that USAID, that we do through USAID, that we should continue to do, and we will continue to do. But everything they do has to be in alignment with the national interest and the foreign policy of the United States. And the attitude that USAID has adopted over the years is, no, we are independent of the national interest. We fund programs irrespective of whether it's aligned or not aligned with the foreign policy. That's ridiculous. These are taxpayer dollars. Every penny that we spend in foreign aid needs to be in furtherance and aligned with the national interest and the foreign policy of the United States. So this is not about ending the programs that USAID does per se. There are things that it does that are good, and there are things that it does that we have strong questions about. It's about the way it operates as an entity. And they're supposed to take direction from the State Department, policy direction. They do not. Not only do they not take policy direction, they're completely uncooperative. When you ask questions, when you try to go in and find out, okay, what does this program do? Who's getting the money? Why was this funded? Why are we doing this? Why aren't you coordinating with the embassy or the State Department? Their attitude is, we don't have to answer to you because we are independent. We answer to no one. Well, that's not true, and that will no longer be the case.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. So you see, Elon Musk is actually in charge of streamlining processes in the US government. And what does this mean? They are saying Elon wants to get rid of the coin, the US cent, which takes about $3 to produce. Well, that's a big deal, because that's actually getting rid, I believe this is the start of getting rid of the cash system, the cash payment system. Something is on the horizon. A big thing is on the horizon. And I believe banks should be next, because this shakeup for the United States for international development is something that that is deliberate. The next that Elon Musk may target is the US Treasury, or the banking system that has to do with everything to do with payment systems and how the world is run. And you know what? This should help you to understand the times where we're going. And going into the next months, you'll be able to see a lot of changes. Could it be that they want to introduce Bitcoin? They want to introduce a paperless payment system? The year is 2025, remember. There is Project Stargate that has been pumped 500 billion US dollars. That's a lot of money. And that amount of money, guess what it is? It is to streamline processes for the United States, streamline processes or streamline AI processes in the United States. It's not just about trying to make AI a thing of glory for the United States or leadership in AI for the United States. No, it's not about that. It's about making sure that they are introducing a new currency. Well, brace yourself for those times. What would happen if the US currency is stopped? The US dollar becomes less dominant. People will go to the BRICS nations, and that transition, we should be able to handle that transition. Are you and your family ready to handle that transition? Personal, are you ready to handle that transition? And we have seen again how the U.S. sovereign fund has been created to create wealth for the people of the United States, not Africans, not Asians, not international partners, even allies. There's another video which I want to show you that actually validates the shift that we are talking about here, because actually this is a shift from international partners, allies that used to buy goodwill and faith in America. But that seems to be the case no longer. And instead, there is something that I want to show you. So this video is, yes, it was from yesterday, President Trump signing an executive order to establish the Sovereign Wealth Fund. For starters, the Sovereign Wealth Fund is a public investment fund that the government puts in place to manage its wealth. It's like an investment fund, but for the government. Examples of sovereign funds elsewhere around the world, we have Sweden, we have Saudi Arabia, we have countries like Bahrain, with those countries with good resources. They do have sovereign wealth funds, and that's one of the things that helps their countries' wealth to have investments. You know, the returns from those investments could be used to significantly reduce national debt or subsidize services and products of whole nations, yeah, like for example the United States. So this is a businessman that has been put into government, and these are the policies that is actually trying to put across for the world to see. Now listen to what he had to say concerning the sovereign funds.
Next, this is an executive order. Discharges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you're seeing that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth, the people, my predecessors. We're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices that's done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets, assets that we have in this country, as we work to bring them out for the American people.
The extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government and the business it does with companies should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together. I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir.
So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund. And I think in a short period of time, we'd have one of the biggest funds. And some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund, and I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund. And these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely, and they'll be heading it up, and they're going to do a great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably well in the world, in the real world. So that's a big deal, huh?
Yes, sir. I think it's going to create value and be of great strategic importance.
Okay, so that's it. USA is creating a sovereign wealth fund. I think the model is actually after Saudi Arabia, because one of the biggest wealth funds is Saudi Arabia, which is actually run by Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Well, this begs the question, could it be that the system of the world, how the world operates, has changed? Because the same way we are seeing America lead the world in doing these things, this is exactly how policy is shifting, or the global power is shifting, because countries that are vulnerable, this is a capitalist agenda at play, a capitalist agenda by a capitalist president at play. But we are looking at a world that existed by international cooperation, multilateralism, just from the Biden administration. Just 3-4 weeks ago, you couldn't imagine that the United States Agency for International Development would be scrapped, but now it has been scrapped. Imagine how many millions are going to suffer because of killing of the USAID. And instead, President Trump thought he has to put America first by investing or putting up a sovereign wealth fund. Wow, that's what I wanted us to check it out and see how the United States is doing. Things have really changed, and people have to brace themselves for this change. Countries have to bless themselves for this change in the end times. Well, from the scriptures, it is certain. These are the days, and we said it before, 2025 is a very pivotal year. These are the days when they are taking back the wealth that belongs to them, the wealth that built the nations. So that if anything happens out there, they'll be able to, they'll be able to come out. So this is almost like a conspiracy theory. You don't have to dismiss things as conspiracy theories. These are not conspiracy theories. These are realities that are happening. So if it's, very true, we could say this conspiracy theory is actually taking place. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. They are creating a sovereign wealth fund, the likes of Saudi Arabia, the likes of Sweden, the likes of other countries, yeah. And this, I don't know how you're going to take this, but this is one of the things that is very, very disruptive and disturbing for the United States to take after Saudi Arabia. I'll come up with a video to undo or decode Mohammed bin Salman and Saudi relations to the Trump administration, because that is one of the most pivotal elements of what we are dealing with in the end times. And we will need to decode Mohammed bin Salman and how he relates very close. His multiple investments in the United States and how he relates very close to the United States government. Otherwise, I just want to thank you for watching. Please be there next week, as I'll be doing another video for whatever is happening all around the world. Remember, our Lord is coming.